To master the art of inner detachment is to rise above the fragile instincts that bind ordinary minds. Most people walk through life with open doors to their emotions, allowing every careless word, every subtle insult, every moment of rejection to invade and unsettle their peace. They live like a fortress without walls, strong in appearance, but weak in defense. The man who wishes to remain unbothered must build an inner fortress so impenetrable that no one, no circumstance, can breach it. To achieve this, one must first understand that anger is a form of surrender. It is the confession that another person has succeeded in reaching inside you, in dictating your mood, in controlling your energy. To be provoked is to be ruled. Emotional detachment is not the absence of feeling, it is the mastery of it. It means observing everything, yet reacting to nothing until the moment serves you. When someone offends you, the weak mind rushes to defend itself, to retaliate, to prove worth. The strong mind, however, remains still. It sees the attack not as personal, but as a reflection of the other's turmoil. To get angry at a fool is to join him in his foolishness. To be offended by a liar is to give value to his lies. When you allow their words to echo in your mind, you make them powerful. When you remain untouched, their efforts dissolve into nothingness. Most people seek to dominate others through emotional manipulation, provocation, mockery, guilt, or ridicule. The detached mind cannot be manipulated because it no longer seeks approval or reacts to disapproval. It sees through these games as one observes a stage performance, understanding the act, but not participating in it. Detachment transforms you into an observer of human behavior, a silent strategist who studies the impulses of others while keeping his own under strict control. You begin to notice how people use anger to mask fear, how they use pride to hide insecurity, how they speak loudly to conceal weakness. Once you see this pattern, their attempts lose all weight, for you no longer see them as threats but as demonstrations of vulnerability. To build this inner state, one must withdraw from the noise of constant emotional engagement. Every time you feel anger rising, pause and study it as a scientist studies a chemical reaction. Where does it come from? What does it reveal about your desires and attachments? Most anger is born from ego, the craving to be seen, to be right, to be respected. But once you no longer depend on others to confirm your worth, their opinions lose all influence over your peace. The moment you stop expecting fairness, kindness, or understanding from people, you stop being disappointed by their absence. You begin to see the world as it is, not as you wish it to be. From that clarity, detachment naturally emerges. This mastery cannot be achieved through willpower alone. It requires transformation of perception. You must teach your mind to view offenses as tests of strength, not as injuries. Every provocation becomes an opportunity to practice dominion over yourself. The more you are tested, the stronger your composure becomes. Imagine a flame surrounded by wind. The stronger the gusts, the steadier it learns to burn. The detached man does not isolate himself from the world. He moves among men as one untouchable, guarded not by walls but by wisdom. To understand the nature of people is to free yourself from the endless cycle of emotional reaction. Most individuals are ruled by their weaknesses, not their virtues. They act from fear, insecurity, and desire far more often than from reason. Once you truly grasp this, anger and frustration begin to vanish, replaced by a calm awareness of how human beings truly function. The majority of people are not malicious by intention. They are prisoners of their impulses, unable to rise above them. Their envy is a symptom of inadequacy, their cruelty a shield for their fragility, their arrogance a disguise for their inferiority. When you see this truth clearly, it becomes almost impossible to be genuinely offended by them, for you realize that their actions are not personal. They are predictable responses to their own inner chaos. Human behavior, at its root, is mechanical. Most individuals repeat patterns of emotion without understanding why. They react before they think, they attack what they fear, and they despise what reminds them of their own failures. If you expect nobility from such minds, you will always be disappointed. The wise expect folly, and therefore are never surprised by it. When someone betrays you, insults you, or attempts to humiliate you, see it not as treachery but as inevitability, a symptom of their smallness, not a reflection of your worth. Their hostility is not a mirror of your flaws, but a confession of their unrest. They project their dissatisfaction outward because they cannot bear to face it within. When you learn to observe people through this lens, the world becomes transparent. You begin to see patterns where others see mysteries. The flatterer reveals his need for approval, the liar his fear of judgment, the aggressor his hunger for control. Every word and action becomes a clue to the insecurities beneath the surface. With this understanding, you stop reacting emotionally and start responding strategically. Instead of being angered by their faults, you begin to use their weaknesses as information. You learn when to speak and when silence wounds more deeply than words. You learn how to let others expose themselves through their own behavior. Knowledge of human nature becomes your armor. The mistake most people make is assuming others think as they do. They project their sincerity onto the insincere, their loyalty onto the treacherous, their kindness onto the cruel. This delusion is the source of much disappointment. The one who understands the nature of people never assumes, he observes. He measures words against deeds, smiles against motives, promises against patterns. He knows that many speak of virtue, while serving only their vanity. He knows that most seek friendship not from affection but from advantage. By understanding this, he is not cynical, he is realistic, and realism is the foundation of inner peace. Once you stop demanding moral perfection from others, you stop being disturbed by their flaws. You recognize that the world is not filled with evil people, but with unconscious ones. The man who steals may not love theft, he simply fears lack. The one who lies may not hate truth, he simply fears exposure. When you see that weakness is the root of most wrongdoing, compassion replaces anger, and clarity replaces confusion, you stop fighting illusions and start mastering reality. In this mastery lies the ability to walk among chaos untouched, because you no longer expect order from the disordered, nor integrity from the divided. To turn emotion into calculation is to transform your greatest vulnerability into your sharpest weapon. Most people are ruled by their emotions without ever realizing it. They lash out when hurt, speak when provoked, and make choices not from clarity but from the haze of reaction. Emotion blinds the intellect, and anger is the most deceptive of all. It gives the illusion of power while quietly robbing it. The moment you allow anger to take hold, you lose command over your judgment. Every hasty word, every reckless move becomes a betrayal of your own discipline. Power does not belong to the loud, nor to the furious, but to the one who can feel deeply yet remain unmoved until the time to act is chosen by reason, not impulse. The ability to transmute emotion into strategy begins with awareness. When something disturbs your peace, pause and study your own reaction before you study the cause. The average man seeks revenge, the disciplined mind seeks information. Every insult, every provocation reveals something about the other person, their fears, intentions, and vulnerabilities. To react in anger is to miss the lesson they are unwittingly teaching you. Emotion is the fog that hides opportunity. If you can remain calm when others are burning with rage, you can see the path that remains invisible to them. The one who controls his temper controls the battlefield. There is a reason why emotional people rarely ascend to positions of true power. They are easily manipulated because they wear their hearts on display. Their opponents need only touch the right nerve to lead them where they want them to go. The wise, however, conceal their emotions behind an unshakable calm. They may feel anger, but they never show it. They may feel pain, but they never confess it. Their silence becomes their weapon, for it confuses those who seek to provoke them. When you do not react, your opponent begins to unravel. They grow anxious, desperate for validation, uncertain of their impact. In that moment, the balance of power shifts quietly in your favor. Calculation does not mean coldness, it means direction. Emotion, when mastered, becomes fuel for intelligent action. Anger can sharpen focus, fear can heighten awareness, and pain can deepen perception, but only if they are contained and refined. Like fire, these emotions can destroy if uncontrolled, yet illuminate if harnessed. The one who converts emotion into strategy uses inner turbulence as a source of energy, rather than a cause of destruction. He waits, observes, gathers knowledge, and strikes only when his silence has ripened into advantage. His calmness is not emptiness, it is compressed power. This transformation requires discipline of the mind. Each time you feel the urge to react, you must train yourself to delay it. Let the emotion surge and settle, then dissect it. What exactly triggered it? What does it reveal about the other's intentions? What outcome would serve you best? Slowly, you begin to see that emotion is not the enemy. It is a signal. It tells you where your attachments lie, where your control is weakest. Once you can use these signals to guide your strategy instead of clouding it, you enter a realm of command inaccessible to the impulsive. The calm mind becomes a fortress, and every attempt to provoke you becomes an opportunity to gather power in silence. To dominate the mind before the moment is to understand that victory is always won in silence, long before the world sees the result. Most people prepare for the event, but the wise prepare for the emotion. They build a mental discipline so firm that no insult, no betrayal, no chaos can bend it. The mind, when untrained, reacts like an open flame. It flickers at every gust of provocation. But the disciplined mind is a steady fire burning under command. The difference between the weak and the powerful is not what they face, but how they have trained themselves to face it. The untrained man enters a confrontation hoping to remain calm. The disciplined man enters already calm, for he has rehearsed his composure in solitude until it became his nature. Mental domination begins with self-awareness. You must know your own triggers better than your enemies ever could. Every person has certain words, actions, or tones that can disturb their peace, because these strike at unhealed pride or hidden fear. To be immune to provocation, you must study these vulnerabilities and strip them of power. When you are aware of the exact strings others can pull, you make them useless. Preparation is not about pretending the world will be kind. It is about mastering yourself so completely that even when it is cruel, you remain unshaken. The one who has already fought his inner battles cannot be defeated by external ones. Most people wait for the storm to learn control. The wise practice control in calm weather. Each day provides moments to strengthen your inner command. A small irritation, a delay, a criticism, all are training grounds. Every time you resist the urge to react, you fortify the mind. Over time, you begin to notice that what once disturbed you now passes through you like wind through stone. This invisible transformation is the foundation of unbreakable composure. The mind becomes conditioned to observation rather than reaction. You begin to sense the first spark of emotion rising within you, and instead of letting it ignite, you analyze it. That moment of pause separates the powerful from the powerless. It is the breath between provocation and response that determines who controls the situation. Those who dominate their minds create an aura that unsettles others. People are accustomed to emotional participation. They expect anger, fear, or defensiveness. When you respond with stillness, they lose balance. Your calmness becomes a weapon, and your restraint becomes authority. The loudest in the room begins to look small beside the one who remains silent. The one who cannot be provoked begins to control those who can. By mastering your inner world, you reverse the dynamic of power without ever needing to raise your voice or show aggression. To reach such mastery, one must live with discipline. The mind cannot be conquered through comfort. It must be trained in moments of solitude, tested by denial, and sharpened by reflection. Each morning is an opportunity to strengthen your focus. Each night, a moment to examine your reactions. The man who neglects this training remains a servant to his moods. The one who practices it daily becomes a ruler of his emotions. When the moment of confrontation arrives, it will not surprise him, it will reveal him. For his calmness is not improvised. It was forged long before in the private battles no one saw. To rise above the need for validation is to cut the final chain that binds most people to the opinions of the world. The desire to be liked, respected, or understood is the root of nearly all emotional disturbance. People crave recognition as if their worth depends on being seen, and when others withdraw that recognition, they collapse into resentment or self-doubt. The truth is that dependence on approval is a silent form of enslavement. It gives strangers the power to decide your peace, and it makes your happiness conditional upon forces you cannot control. The one who seeks validation is forever exposed, because his sense of identity exists only in the reflections cast by others. The one who has freed himself from this need stands like a mountain, indifferent to praise, untouched by ridicule. This liberation begins with understanding that human judgment is unstable, self-serving, and inconsistent. What is admired today will be mocked tomorrow. What one praises in you, another will despise. If you chase approval, you are condemned to eternal motion, adjusting yourself to the shifting winds of public opinion. The crowd admires not virtue but spectacle. They love what entertains, not what endures. To anchor your worth in such chaos is to guarantee restlessness. But when you find validation within, when your conscience becomes your only mirror, you become immovable. You begin to act not to impress, but to express the truth of your own principles. The applause or criticism of others then becomes background noise to the music of your purpose. Most people disguise their dependence on validation behind the language of morality or empathy. They say they care what others think because they value harmony or reputation. In truth, they fear rejection. They fear being unseen, being misunderstood, being forgotten. These fears make them manipulable. Those who crave approval can be controlled with flattery or threatened with shame. Their emotions rise and fall according to how others perceive them. They exhaust themselves trying to maintain an image that wins acceptance. Yet no amount of admiration can satisfy them, because every compliment fades and demands renewal. The endless pursuit of validation is a hunger that only grows stronger with feeding. To rise above this weakness, you must cultivate solitude. The man who cannot be alone with his own thoughts will always need the noise of others to feel alive. Solitude teaches you to hear your own voice clearly, without distortion from the opinions of the crowd. It strengthens the spine that bends too easily to external judgment. Once you learn to enjoy your own company, the world loses its power to define you. You no longer chase compliments because you no longer doubt your worth. You no longer fear criticism because you no longer measure yourself through borrowed eyes. Freedom from validation is not arrogance, it is clarity. It means acting from conviction, not from the anticipation of reaction. It means doing what is right for its own sake, not for recognition. The one who stands firm in his self-belief walks through the noise of the world as through a storm, untouched by the wind, unshaken by the rain. Praise cannot lift him higher, and insult cannot drag him down, for his sense of value is rooted not in the shifting soil of approval, but in the unmovable ground of inner certainty. The path to never being angry or bothered by anyone is not found in isolation from the world, but in mastery over oneself. The true victory is inward. The conquest of emotion, the understanding of human nature, the transformation of reaction into strategy, the quiet discipline of the mind, and the detachment from validation. When you cease to be moved by insult, provoked by weakness, or defined by opinion, you step beyond the reach of ordinary struggle. You become a presence that cannot be manipulated, a spirit that cannot be shaken. The world remains loud, but within you there is silence. From that silence comes unbreakable strength, the kind that does not shout, does not defend, does not seek to be understood, but simply endures. This is the mark of true power, not in controlling others, but in being entirely beyond their control.